This video is designed to instruct both professional installers and do-it-yourselfers in the installation of Stonecraft decorative rock walls. These thoroughly proven installation techniques are detailed to ensure an excellent finished wall. This video should be used in conjunction with written instructions available on Stonecraft's website or available in print from the factory. Written instructions provide greater details such as fastener sizes and specifications, illustrative photos, and other important facts. A quality finished wall is the result of a quality installation. The layout must be consistent with ground contours. Posts must be appropriately spaced and properly anchored. Follow Stonecraft installation instructions carefully and your wall will be both structurally correct and a beautiful addition to your project or property. Before beginning any installation, check all local regulations regarding fencing, location of all buried utility lines, and correct property lines. Be certain you are in compliance with all utility line locator requirements, local codes, and laws. The complete wall configuration will have already been determined prior to order, including each line of wall, corner posts, end posts, and gate locations. If posts are to be installed in level ground, panel support brackets will be set so that the bottom edge of the panel is 73.5 inches from the top of the post. Attaching brackets in advance of post installation is easier using a measuring template of 73.5 inches long for faster, repetitive bracket installation. It is easier to change a bracket in the field if necessary than to install brackets once posts are installed in the ground. Installed brackets provide a leveling point on each post. If a laser is available, it will be an excellent tool to assist in determining grade and slope. For a level ground installation, begin at a corner or an end post. This will give you a good starting point. If there is a slope, it is easier to begin at the top and work your way downhill. Dig all post holes at least 30 inches deep by 12 inches in diameter. Holes must be 71.5 inches center to center. Walls will rarely measure out to be an exact number of full panels, therefore it will likely require cutting one or more panels to complete a wall. Depending on personal preference, you may wish to narrow the width of the last 2 to 3 panels or cut the first and last panels evenly so that there is not one very narrow panel. Dig the remainder of the holes. Alternatively, for do-it-yourselfers, you may want to mark and drill only a few holes at a time. Stretch a string on the outside line of the posts from the beginning of the fence to the end of the fence. This will ensure a straight line of holes. If curves are required, the line may be broken, but post hole spacing must remain 71.5 inches or less if you wish to cut the panel. The string will assist in keeping the posts lined up. Set the top of each post 73.5 inches above the level you want the bottom of the panel. Panel support brackets should already be attached at 73.5 inches. A string tied from start to finish of the fence line or a laser can accomplish this. Mix concrete and pour 6 inches deep into the first post hole. Set a post in the hole with the concrete. Using a mallet or hammer, tap the post into the concrete until the top of the post meets the desired height. Fill the remainder of the hole with concrete. Make sure the post remains at the desired height. Using a level, check 2 adjacent sides of the post. Two-way levels are useful. Adjust the post until it is both vertical and at the correct height. If using a dry mix method, first place the post in the hole in the approximate position at the bottom of the hole. Pour the dry mix in the hole, positioning the post as soon as it is feasible. Using the steel stiffener, which is exactly 70.25 inches as a spacer, set the next post the same as the first. Place a level on the stiffener when the next post is in place to ensure the panels will be level. Do not move the post, which is now in position. Leave the spacer in place for 1 hour minimum as concrete begins to cure to keep the post from moving. Set 3 to 4 posts with spacers, then advance them one at a time by moving the first spacer placed. Allow the concrete to cure for a minimum of 24 to 48 hours. Be certain steel stiffeners are inserted in the top and bottom rails of each panel. They come installed from the factory, but may have been removed to use as post spacers. Panels are universal. There is no front or back and no top or bottom edge. Randomly installing panels gives the most pleasing aesthetic effect. Lift the bottom panel edge to approximately 4 feet off the ground. Place one edge of the panel into the post. Have one person flex the next post outward until the groove will receive the panel. Once the panel is captured, ease the panel down onto the support brackets. This process requires 2 people. Install caps, which are pressure fitted over the posts. If there are concerns about caps being knocked off or taken off, caps can be attached with special primer and adhesive available from Stonecraft. You could drive a 3-inch screw through the top of the cap into the middle of the post. However, attaching caps is usually unnecessary. If you are concerned about unauthorized panel removal from a finished wall, attach each panel with one screw through the panel edge into a post. This can be done at any location, but down low would be less noticeable. Panels must be attached to all end posts and corner posts. 3 spaced fasteners on the edge is recommended. Panels require attaching because they could conceivably become disengaged from the end and corner posts. However, never attach both edges of any panel to posts. Installation on sloping terrain is similar to that on flat terrain. Installation professionals typically use a laser to shoot and obtain a grade or grades if necessary, in order to determine the slope on the line of a wall. In relation to varying elevations, post placement is important. A post is typically placed at the point where the slope changes, whether that is a peak or a valley. A 6-foot wide panel can be stepped as much as 12 inches per panel. For steeper slopes, instructions follow. Caution! Stonecraft walls are not to be used as retaining walls. Panels may be partially buried as long as the soil depth is the same on each side. Set the posts using the same methods to install posts on level ground. Panel support brackets will all be pre-attached at 73.5 inches. The bracket installed to receive the downhill side of the panel will remain at 73.5 inches from the top of the post. Once the slope has been determined and the drop per panel, one bracket can be removed and reattached at the proper height. Panels will always be set level, even on a slope. Set the first post on the uphill side. Set the second post and make any adjustments to bracket position. Use a steel stiffener for spacing to set the distance to each succeeding post. Use a level on the stiffener to ensure panels will be level when installed. For steeper slopes, panels can be cut so the step or drop in each segment is 12 inches or less. For example, a panel could be cut to 2 feet wide and stepped with a 12-inch drop. Where a narrower panel is required to finish a wall, panels can be cut. Where panels require cutting, first determine the exact width for steel stiffeners between post grooves. Next, mark and cut the steel stiffeners for that panel to that width. Cut stiffeners with any metal cutting saw. Next, mark and cut the panel to the stiffener width minus a ½ inch. A longer stiffener will allow for thermal expansion of the panel without restriction. Make certain panels are cut accurately with edges parallel. Panels can be cut with any saw, such as a circular saw. If a cut panel is used with an end or corner post, use the factory edge for attachment to the post. Gate posts have extra steel reinforcing for strength and are different than all other posts. Gate posts need to be set in position so the receiving groove is opposite the gate side. The flat surface must be in position to receive the gate and gate hardware. 4-foot single gates must be positioned with a 1-inch gap between the gate and posts on either side of the gate. Set posts for gates utilizing the same methods as setting other posts, making certain they are vertical. Allow concrete around gate posts to cure for at least 72 hours, due to the continuous tension on the posts after gates are mounted. Attach the top gate hinge to the gate with 12 inches clear from the hinge edge to the top of the gate. Next, attach the bottom hinge to the gate with 12 inches clear from the hinge edge to the bottom of the gate. Position the gate so the top edge is the same height as adjacent wall panels. Mark the hinges for mounting position. Holding the gate securely in position, which will probably require 2 people, attach the top and bottom hinges to the post. Gates are designed with a gap at the bottom to facilitate unobstructed swinging. On the side of the gate opposite the hinges, attach the latch receiver on the post at a height to suit personal preference, usually 42 to 56 inches high or as required by local code. This may be higher in swimming pool applications. Mark the position of the striker rod on the gate. Temporarily holding the striker rod in place, test swing the gate to make sure the striker rod matches the latch receiver before attaching the striker rod. Gates are designed so their position can be easily adjusted. If the gate is not parallel to the post, or if the latch receiver and striker pin do not match exactly, the gate can be adjusted. Hinges are adjustable both vertically and laterally with an Allen wrench. These instructions are meant to be both thorough and concise. Most questions will be answered by paying close attention to details and recommended installation procedures. If you have any questions or encounter unusual circumstances, please contact Stonecraft for directions. Thank you for choosing Stonecraft. Your decorative rock wall will provide many years of trouble-free beauty and owner satisfaction.